Hey everyone, so we're just going to continue where we left off, creating the Caveman Minion, designed by Just Davies, also known as CraftLover17 on Instagram. So to review, these are the supplies that you're going to need. Your black, a light shade of brown, I'm using the caramel, your yellow, your white, a darker shade of brown, which is I'm using the cocoa, small e-beads, both black and white, and these are what I got at Michael's, and your other basic supplies. For the body, please don't forget you're using the same body for your other minions. This one is called Loomigurumi Minion Body if you search it up on YouTube, or find it down below in my description box. I also made the club, and I made this just like how Jess did, using Feelin' Spiffy's 3D Happy Rock Candy tutorial that you can find on YouTube, and these are the colors that I used. So you can add this, and it's a great addition to it, so it's this little club. So I'm going to continue, and I do hope you enjoy. Now we're going to attach the suit onto the body. So you want to grab the suit, and you want to place it even and nicely over the body. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to, with my hook, I'm going to go from where the body is up towards the suit. I'm going to be starting at the stitch right beside the slip knot, and I'm going to do 32 single crochets around. So I have 32 bands, and I'm going to grab the body first, the chain on the body, and then the chain on the suit. So let's see, if I put this flat, this is where I want to be. Chain on the body, chain on the suit. Grab your first band and bring it through both chains. Grab your end and slide. So you're just going to crochet around, grabbing the chain on the body and then the chain on the suit. Bring your band through both chains. On your hook, 3 loops and slide. Continue, next chain, through your chains, on your hook and slide. When you are sewing this on, make sure that you're looking to make sure it's even, and that with your hook you're going from the body first and then the suit. If you don't, the yellow bands will show through your chain. Like, it will actually look like this if you sew from the suit, if you grab the suit first and then the body. So you're just going to continue going all the way around, making sure that once in a while that you're checking that to see if you're sewing straight. When I am doing this part, I'm always looking first for my next stitch and then I'm grabbing. So I'm judging first. Just gonna check, make sure it's flat. Make sure that this is flat, so I don't have any, it's not loose. Just going to check. Now I can determine to make sure I sewed straight. So I'm at my last stitch, my last chain, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a slip knot with this band. So I'm going to bring it through all of the stitches that are on my hook, grab the end, and tie off. Just making sure that everything is straight and here is nice and flat. And you can take these little slip knots and just hide them. What we're going to do now is we're going to create the hair. So I've already attached it just to show you what we're actually going to be creating. So this is the top of the hair. And what we're going to do first is make these 3 strands. So I just added on the eye just to show you what it's going to look like. We're going to do these 3 pieces right now. So what I'm going to do first is using 5 bands, I'm using the black too. I'm going to take my first one and wrap it around my hook. So I have 4 loops on. So I'm going to wrap it around 3 times. 1, 2, 3, I'm wrapping it around 4 times, so I have 4 loops. Now I'm going to take 4 bands, one at a time, a single band, I'm going to stretch it, twist it, and double it and create a chain. Put the other end on my hook. I'm going to move my bands around so that they're nice and even, they're not twisted, and I'm going to do another one. Slide my piece on, grab the end, and just creating a chain. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Trying not to overlap or twist these bands so it's nice and straight. And 1 more time. So this is what you should have for the first one, and we're going to leave it on our hook, so I'm going to push it down. So a cap band and 4 bands singled, doubled. Now I'm going to do that again with 9 bands now. So I'm leaving this on my hook, and I'm going to start another one. So this is my cap band. I'm going to wrap it around my hook 4 times. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I have 4 loops. Now, taking 8 bands, we're going to do a chain with a single band, twist and double, and we're going to slide our cap band on, grabbing the end, fixing it, and continue with 7 more bands. So you'll have this chain of 8. So this is what you should have on your hook so far. Now we're going to do this, another one, we're going to create another one, and it's the same one as the first one that we did, so using 5 bands. Our first one, we're going to cap this around our hook 4 times, so this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have 4 loops. Now we're going to take 4 single bands, and we're going to take them one at a time and double it, creating that chain of 4. That's 1, 2, 3, and this is our 4th. So this is what you should have on your hook so far. Now we're going to take a single band and we're going to double this, and we're going to slide all of these loops on the single band. So give it a stretch, double it, attach to your hook and support with your finger and slide your pieces on, grabbing the end back on your hook. So this is what you should have. And we're going to take double bands, and we're just going to attach to our hook, support with our finger, and then slide this on. Put the other end back on your hook. So you should have 4 loops on your hook, and this is what you should have. Now you want to make sure that it's all even, and you want to slowly just remove it off your hook and put to the side for now. Now we're going to make 2 more pieces, just these smaller pieces here. And I'm going to do a chain of 4. So right now we're going to use 5 bands. Our first one is our cap band. Then we're going to do a chain of 4 single bands doubled. And then we're going to slide it onto a single band. And then we're going to repeat. So let's grab our first band, and we're going to cap this around our hook 4 times. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you have 4 loops. Now make a chain of 4, so a single band, doubled, slide your cap band on. Let me try it again. Slide your cap band on, grab your end, and you want to do that 3 more times. So you have a chain of 4. So there we have, this is what we have. Now you're going to slide this onto a single band. Grab your end so it's nice and even, and then you can remove off your hook and put to the side for a second. We're going to repeat this, so we're going to make another one. We're going to cap this around our hook 4 times. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4, so we have 4 loops. And then make a chain of 4, doubling your band up. Now, you're going to slide this onto a single band. Make it even, and then remove off your hook and put to the side. Now, starting with round 1 of the hair, we're going to make a chain of 12. So that means I'm going to use 13 bands, and our first band is going to be our cap band. We're just going to make a chain. So let's take our first band, and we're going to wrap this around our hook only twice, so we have 2 loops. So this would be 1, and then 2. Now you're going to do a chain of 12, just single band, slide that cap band on, grab your end, and you want to do this 11 more times. So this is what you should have. Now we're going to do 13 single crochets. So right now I'm going to attach my ends together with a single band, and we're going to do a slip stitch or a slip knot. You're just not going to pull too tightly. You want to make sure that this is not twisted, so it's nice and even and you're creating a nice circle. So a nice ring, just like that. We're going to take our first band, so I'm using 13 bands for this round. My first band, I'm going to pull through all of the loops, grab that end, and slide. And then you don't pull too hard. Now I'm going to attach a stitch marker so you can see where I'm going to start and stop on this round. So now what we're going to do is 12, we just did 1, we're going to do 12 more single crochets. So I'm going to go in each chain. So I'm just going to go right beside it in my next chain, through the chain, and pull a single band through. And you're going to do that to each chain around. Making sure that you don't go up top or the side, you're just going in one direction. So I'm going in the center of the chain. And just creating a ring. All the way around. You're going to stop at the stitch before your stitch marker. So this is what it should look like. Here's my stitch marker, and you'll notice right here, that's your slip knot. That's not a stitch. So what I want you to do is, if you did add that stitch marker, remove it and add it to the band that's around your hook. So right now we have 13 stitches. This is the pattern. You're adding your first strand on your first chain, 2 single crochets. You're adding your next strand, 6 single crochets, so 1 band in the next 6 chains, adding a strand of hair, and then 2 single crochets. There is a trick to adding the strands, so I'm going to go slower on that part, but at the end of round 4 you're going to have 13 stitches. So let's find our first chain. Not where it's getting pulled, not your slip knot, you're going in your first chain. Now when grabbing a strand, you want to make sure that the cap bands are facing the bottom of your table where you're working, and don't grab on this side to the right of your strand. You want to go to the left of your strand. And you're going to pull these chains through, and just as if you're doing a single crochet, pull those loops through. Now you're going to turn your strand around, so don't go this way. You want to turn your strand around, grab your loops, and do a single crochet. So grab your loops and bring it through, and you'll notice that your strand of hair is now up. If you didn't do it like this, it will stay down. We need it to go up. Now, in your next 2 chains, you're adding 1 band. So my next chain with 1. On your hook and slide. The next chain with 1. The next chain, your 4th chain, you're adding your strand of hair. So the cap band facing the bottom, put it towards you or your hook there and go for the left loop. Bring it through, turn it around. You can see I turn it around. Now see it was like this. Now I'm turning it around. Grab your loop and bring it through. And you can see it went up. Now in the next 6 chains, you're adding 1 band. So I have 3 chains left and I have 3 parts left. So we're going to go in our next chain and we're going to do the same thing. Cap band facing the bottom, go for the left loop, bring it through your chain, turn your strand around and grab the other end and bring it through. Now I have 2 chains left and 2 bands. So 1 band in each chain. Where your stitch marker is, 1 band, and remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. And this is what you should have. This is the pattern. We're going to do a single crochet followed by an invisible decrease, so adding 2 bands. Then a single crochet followed by 3 invisible decreases. Then a single crochet followed by an invisible decrease. At the end of this round, you should have 8 stitches. So we're going to go in our first chain, not where it's getting pulled. It's actually the band that's holding our big strand here, and it has 4 loops. I personally am just going to grab 2 of the loops on either side. And I'm going to bring my first band through to do a single crochet. And slide. Now in the next 2 chains, I'm going to do that invisible decrease. So I'll be doing a slip stitch in each one and leaving it on my hook. So I'm in my next chain. I'm going to take my first band, bring it through and do a slip stitch and leaving it on my hook. The next chain, the same thing, a slip stitch and leaving it on my hook. Now this loop at the end, I'm going to slide under the other 2 loops, and that was my decrease. Now I'm going to go in the next stitch to do my single crochet, and it's this tiny little stitch. Bring my band through on my hook and slide. Now I'm going to do 3 invisible decreases. So going in my next chain, doing a slip stitch, leaving it on my hook. The next chain, same thing, slip stitch, and leaving it on my hook. 3 loops, take the end one and slide underneath the other 2. Next chain, again a slip stitch, leaving it on my hook, 2 loops, the next stitch, slip stitch, 3 loops, and slide. One more invisible decrease, slip stitch on my hook, next chain, slip stitch on my hook, and 3 loops, slide. Now I'm going to go on my next chain to do a single crochet. I have 2 chains left, which I'm going to do my decrease, so invisible slip stitch and leave it on my hook. 2 loops, the last stitch where my stitch marker is, slip stitch on my hook, 3 loops, and slide. So you should have 8 stitches now. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. So we're going to do 3 invisible decreases, and then we're going to do a slip knot. So invisible decrease 3 times. So going in the first chain, slip stitch and leave it on your hook. Next stitch, slip stitch, leave it on your hook, 3 loops, and slide. Let's repeat with an invisible decrease. And I'm just going to go on the next chain and do a slip knot. I'm going to remove my stitch marker, and this is what you should have. So I'm just going to fix up these bands here. And you just want to untwist it. So I just turned it because mine was all twisted. And this is what you should have. I'm going to take this band here and hide it. So I'm just going to bring it underneath. Now to sew our piece on, the hair on. I did attach the goggle. This I just found a little bit easier just for me. You don't necessarily have to do this. So this is my front, and I'm going to put the hair right on top. There's your magic circle, and I'm going to put it right on top with this facing the front. So the front of the body being the other side of where your slip knot is, where you sewed your suit, and my magic circle, the top of the hair, I'm just going to push down, with this being at the front. Now I'm going to randomly start in a spot in the back, and I'm going to grab the body first, a chain on the body, and then the hair. So if I kind of open this up, I'm going to grab a chain on the body, and then the chain on the hair at the back here. I'm using 13 bands, so we're going to do a single crochet all the way around. Grab your end. Okay, I'm going to have to do that again. And then if you need to move the goggle around after to find your front, that's good. So I'm just kind of holding the top and my magic circle. Now you're just going to go right around. I'm not adding stuffing to the hair or anything. So body, and then the chain on the hair, bring your band around, underneath your chains, on your hook, and slide. And going around. You can see that it starts to puff up, and that's what you want. So you can see that I'm not making it flat and trying to stretch it. You might want to just keep checking just to make sure that you're sewing it on at least straight. And that you're not stretching it. This is my second last band. Our last band, we're going to do a slip knot to tie it closed. So bringing it through all of your loops that were on your hook, grabbing the end and tying off. So now I just have to move my goggle around, and there's my front. So you can just hide that slip knot, and we're going to attach the bone to the top. So you just want to fix these around, and you're going to use a single black band. So find the back, so whatever side you want this to be the back of, you're going to go through your brown bands here and bring a single black band through, leaving it on your hook, one end. Now you're going to do a slip knot around your big strand of hair here. So grab the end, go around, grab that end, and do a slip knot. And this band we're going to bring over our strand of hair. So open it up. If you break the band, don't be so shocked. And there you go. So the bone's on. And then you can pull it up with your hook if you need to. Now we're going to sew on the legs, and I'm going to put my hook through the stitches on the leg first and then the body. So let's just get this ready. I'm going to go right above the slip knot, and that's where I'm going to start on the leg. Now, find the center, find your magic circle, and now I'm going to grab the stitches that are around the magic circle. So I'm not going to grab the magic circle, I'm going to go right beside it, and I'm going to do this side first. I'm using 10 bands. I'm going to bring my first one through the chain, both of the chains, on my hook and side. So I'm just right beside the magic circle, the stitch is right beside, and now I'm going to sew around. The next chain, right beside my slip knot here, I'm going to go to the chain right below, grab my band, bring it through my chains, on my hook, and then side. Fixing the leg up. I'm still straight with my leg, so I'm going to go on the chain, the next chain on the leg, and I'm going to grab the little loop right below. So just straight down. If we fix our leg, we're going to see that it's starting to turn. So I'm turning the body. I'm going to go in the next chain on the leg. I'm going to go right beside where I just grabbed my last band, but making it so it's flat and my hook is my guide here. The next chain on the leg, put it flat, and that's where you want to grab. Now I'm just going to stop here for a second and just make sure that the leg is in okay spot, and that to me looks great. Well, not great, but good enough. The next chain, I'm putting it flat. It's starting to turn through the chain on the leg, put it flat. I'm going right beside it, where I went last. Oh, we need more bands. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what I was thinking. Going to go right beside that. Put it flat. Just opening this up, putting it flat. Sorry about that, we need some more bands. I always miscount bands on the legs for some reason. The next one. Right beside that. And now as I'm turning, I have 2 more stitches left. My last band, I'm going to do a slip knot to tie it closed. But you can see that I'm on the same kind of line as where I started. And the last band. So I'm not grabbing my magic circle, I'm in the same kind of line as where I started, bringing my last band through all of my loops that are on my hook. Check your work, and then you can hide your slip knots. Now for the other leg, and I'm using 15 bands. I'm going to start on the leg right above the slip knot. And I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to start in the center over. So here's your magic circle. I'm going to go to 1 stitch over. And I'm going to be sewing up and around. So bringing my first band through both of my chains and side. Staying in that same kind of line right beside the magic circle. So we don't want to go over. We want to go the next stitch right above that. That might be right here. We want to go in the same row. The next stitch on the leg, I'm still going straight, so the next chain on the body. Now put it flat. We are starting to turn. We want to be in the same area as the other leg when we're here. Put your hook through, and just where the tip of your hook is going, that's where you're adding the leg. Now I went too high, you can see one's high, so I actually went up instead of turning. So I'm going to do this again. So I'm right beside. They're about the same. So you have to be careful. Go through your next chain on the leg, put it flat, the hook, straight, and you can tell I'm turning. I'm at the sides now. Let's put this flat. Is it turning? I'm not sure yet. I'm going to go grab the stitch right beside it. I'm at the back now, so you want to make sure that these are even. If I grab here, I just want to make sure that I'm even before I continue, and that's okay. I have 4 stitches left. 1, 2. I just want to see my spots where I can grab. My last span, so I'm going to bring it through all of my loops to do a slip knot. And then you can just hide your bands and bring it through. Move this around. Now to sew on the arms, and I'm going to use 2 single bands for this to secure it with a slip knot. So with one of your arms, I'm going to measure, kind of put it at the side, but where I'm going to sew them is not the stitch that's touching your suit here. I'm going to go to the chains right above it. So I'm going to pick 3 chains on the side of the body. I'm going to go through 1, bring my first slip knot through, chain right beside, second slip knot or sewing band through, and the last chain on the body, bring my last sewing band through, and slide. Now I'm going to do a slip knot, so I'm going to turn them around, and I'm going to wrap my hook around one of the sewing bands here at the end, grab my band, do a slip knot by bringing it through all of my loops, grabbing the end, and tie off. Now make sure that you like your placement. I'm going to go on the other side. I want to just kind of measure The eyes here, I don't want to put one over here. I want to have it about the same. And again, the stitches right above the chains that are touching the suit. I'm going to check the placement first. Then I'm going to turn it around, put my hook around one of the sewing bands that are at the end of the arm and do a slip knot. Check. Now to hide the slip knots, just go through the arm and bring the band through. And you can do that with the other side. Now we're going to create the bottom part of his little outfit here. So to make it more like a skirt kind of effect, not a pair of shorts or a pants. So we're going to create like a little frill. So I'm going to do slip knots to each chain all the way around. So basically I'm starting right above the legs, but in case you don't know, we're going to count 5 chains up. So here's your magic circle, and we're going to count 5 holes. 1, where your magic circle is, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to start about here at the back. I put my hook through the chain, and I'm going to do a slip knot to each chain around. Check your work often, so you're in a straight line. Go to the next chain over, bring your band through all of the loops. I'm using, I think, about 35 bands for this. I'm not 100% sure. Next chain, bring your band through all of the loops, and you're just doing slip knots. It's really easy to go kind of crooked like, so just keep checking to make sure that you're straight. If I went here and I'm straight, I'm going to go up a little bit. And just checking. I think one of my, oh, I don't know. You could just crochet if you want to. This kind of gave it a completely different look. You may want to check your work. I went 1 stitch down, so I'm just going to undo this part. So I already went crooked, so that's why I just undid it. I am going to stop where I started and do a slip knot to tie it close. So I'm just going to pull at that last band. I'm just going to check my work to make sure. And I probably could have went down a little bit over here. I think I went a little bit too high. That's okay. And where I started, I'm just going to go back in, grab my last band, and do a slip knot to tie it closed. So I'm going to pull at it, and then you can hide your slip knot. Now what we're going to do is his little straps. So I'm going to start right in the center, and I'm basically going to do the same thing that we did at the bottom here, the little frill, doing slip knots. And you can randomly just pick the chains, and you can go crooked all the way around, and you're going to stop right at the center back. And you're going to do another one for the left side, just right above the arms, and you're going to end up in the same chain at the back. I am going to use one of the little beads. So I made another one, and I'm going to use that after I do the second strap. Now, if you do want to just do one strap, that's up to you. I will be showing you how to do two because I will make it exactly how Jess has made hers. So I'm going to start in the center, and I'm not going to grab this one first. I'm going to grab that on my second strap. So if you do want to use this one now, and you're just doing the one, use the little bead. So I'm going to grab on the chain here. I don't quite know exactly how many bands we're going to use. We're not going to use that many. I'm going to do a little slip knot, and I'm going to go towards the left. So I'm going to grab one of the chains here and just doing slip knots. And you don't have to go straight. You can go like a little zigzag, but bring your band through all of the loops and create little slip knots. I'm going to stay roughly in the same area right above the arm. Keep an eye on where your center is. So my center, I'm going to go about here. So I'm just going to keep on going. And now I'm going to do a slip knot in the actual suit. And tie it off. So there was the one strap. And now we're going to repeat the same thing for the other side, and I'm going to start with the band with the bead on it. So I'm going to go through the chain on the suit, grab the end. Actually, I'm going to start from the way from the top of the head down first, go in the chain, grab the end, grab the other end, and slide. And now you can just kind of turn around. So we're going to do the exact same thing going around. But like I said before, if you want to, just do the one strap on the shoulder. So that's it. And just continue. And go around. Just creating the little slip knots. And if you want to keep an eye on the other side, just to know exactly like kind of in the same kind of area as the other one. I'm just going to give a quick check. And then just continue going until you get to the center again of the suit, and then you can make that little slip knot. I'm just going to bring this band back through. And then grabbing the stitch on the suit, and I'm going to create that slip knot to tie it closed. And hiding those slip knots. And if you have to fix up some tension, just grabbing the little knots with your hook. And there you go. Now we're going to add the little mouth, and I'm going to use 2 black bands and 1 yellow band. So I'm actually going to tie these 2 black bands together. So one's on my hook, one's on the end. The one on the end I'm going to slide through. Grabbing the end and doing a slip knot. Now it's up to you how you want to position the mouth, if you want it on a side, if you want it straight. I think I'm going to go straight. So I'm going to go through the center, and I'm going to go as far as my hook can allow me to. Grabbing the end and bringing it through, grabbing the end, and I'm going to create a slip knot with the yellow band. And tie it off. Now just turning so that the yellow band is at the end here, and I'm going to hide the yellow band. And then you can fix up the mouth. And I'm just going to loosen up some of the tension here by pulling these little knots on the yellow. And he's done. I hope you enjoyed Looming with Cheryl. Please subscribe down below. I have a lot more designs to load, and I will see you next time with another. Bye for now.